Hello, y'all. How are you doing this evening? Hope you're all doing well. So, I know this is a weird title, but yeah, you'll get it. Um, Yesterday I had a pretty good day. Hi, Wildlife. It's good to see you, Vicky. Vicky, did you get cold? They kind of lied. Said it was going to be in the 60s and it was in the 50s and windy and no sun, and it's a little cooler than I thought it would be. So yesterday I was finally able to find a yellow rose bush, so I was all excited about that. Um, Today was a short day with my granddaughter because my daughter was supposed to be off, but she had to go in for a few hours. So I was able to play the game with JM Unleashed that everybody keeps talking about. And that was fun. And to all y'all that invite me for the private things, the backstage viewings, that whatever it is it's called. I really appreciate it. I always have fun with those. 77. Goodness. Yeah, it hadn't hit y'all. Um, oh, and then I found this channel, free bargain shoppers like me. Um, Whoops, that isn't it. um, it's a auction channel, and they have everything. Um, Clothes, purses, jewelry, knickknacks, just everything. And let me see if I can get the link to that again. So this is called "It's About to Get Real." Hey, Frog, Bruce, good to see you. What's wrong, Frog? So I went over there and I bought me a new dress and a white evening bag. I think the white evening bag was $2 and the dress was $3 or $4. I don't know. It wasn't very much. So less than $10. I was pretty happy. Um, and it's the same. She does rocks and jewelry, and um, she sold some Native American stuff. She has the bowl. Somebody in here knows what it is. It's it's a it's a soothing sound. You just go around it with this tool and okay, Ron. Good for you. Um, and I just kind of took a break from everything. Took a break from selling the stuff that I'm selling and making the stuff that I'm making, and just, yep, that's it. Thank you, Frog. Meditation bowl. And just kind of did stuff I wanted to do for a change. And so that's what I wanted to say to y'all. Um, Thank you, Life. That's that is exactly it. balance and harmony to our energy. It's not witchcraft. I don't think it's witchcraft. You know, I I think that too many people throw that in. You know what? Um, I kind of have a different belief than a lot of people about our path. I believe that we are all on different paths with different obstacles and um, likes, rewards, whatever on that path. But I think that once we get to the end of that path, we are a totally different person. So, um, it's like what Pappy used to say about our paths that, hi, Daniel, good to see you, that we all just go different way, but we all come back to the campfire. And that's that's the way I see it happening. So when in the past at least 2 years since I've been doing this, and um, every person, every single person who has come up on this panel has contributed something. Whether I agreed with it or not, it's still something. It's still a different view. It's still a different perspective of what is going on. I do believe that we need to be aware. The Great Awakening. I'm seeing that in different ways. I see it as, some people are saying it's people need to wake up. Maybe that's true. But looking for the truth to expose the lies that we have been told and programmed all of our lives. And is it spiritual? Yes, I believe it's spiritual. I think it's all of that combined. And so some people will be very passionate in the things that they believe, and they will let that be known. And I'm okay with that. That's the way I've always tried to be here, is open-minded. Let everyone have a voice. Let everyone make their own decisions on what. That's why I showed 4 different views of the eclipse, because it's like it can it, we don't know. And I see your comment about the wildfires in Texas. So one of the things that I heard today was that that's where a lot of our beef comes from, and that it could be to destroy the beef and all the grass around it to where it can't be rebuilt. I don't know if that's true or not. We have wildfires in Texas a lot. I don't know if it was caused by lightning. I don't know what caused the fires, but there's 3 of them that seem to be around Amarillo and Hereford, Texas. And so if it's like it was here one year, really close to me, we had 3 fires that the fight was trying to make it to where those 3 fires could not meet up together and cause a massive amount of damage. And so that's the biggest concern, is it getting so big that it's just out of control. And I know California deals with those all the time too. And that's probably true too. I don't. You're paranoid. Yes. And so, yeah, it could be some people. Um, I saw this, this, I don't know where it came from. It just popped up today. This little quote, it said, "No, we're not going to hide. No fear in our eyes. Love is a call to action." And for whatever reason, that just stuck with me. And so I just repeated it just for the heck of it. Hey, William, good to see you. William, that's funny. Um, I was going back through the chat from the night before, and I could not see your name. I could see people talking to you, but I couldn't see your name. I don't know what YouTube is doing, but it's a it's kind of making me mad. Second largest. So was the first largest the Bastrop fire? Because that's the one I'm talking about. It was pretty major. And you can still see the damage from that fire when you drive through there. The trees, a lot of the trees are still black. Oh, I didn't know there was a nuclear plant up there. Whoa. Okay. Hey, Snooks. You're the guy from Monkey's Beaches. Oh yeah, I'm safe from. I'm miles from those fires. That's like way north of me, up in the Panhandle. That's a desert up there, y'all. But I don't even know what's burning. That's what I was trying to figure out. Because so I've only been like Wichita Falls, Granbury is probably the furthest west up in that area that I've been, but there's not a lot of foliage, so I don't know. Um, that's why here the fires get so bad. Cedar, man, when cedar burns, it's like it 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 explodes. So you have to really be careful not to get too close to the cedar when you're out there fighting the fires, because they they explode like a bomb, just boom, and sending sparks all over the place. And so when that keeps happening, it spreads quick. It's I mean, you got to really hustle to get out of the path. Well, Frog, I don't have any control over anybody else's. Oh, that's good wildlife. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look more into it, Vicky. Um, I've been looking more at a lot of the videos I look up are inspirational videos or self help, or um, just because, like I said the other night, my goal is to see how we can make this earth better for the future generations. And I know that everybody disagrees with the Green New Deal, whatever the heck they call it now. And I do too, to an extent. But at the same time, I can see where if you look at Russia or China or, I mean, and maybe it's just what they show us, but I see clean, I see order, I see just so clean looking. And here, and I truly believe a lot of it is by design, is I just read this thing where there's two bills they're trying to pass in Congress right now. Hey, Gina, good to see you, hon. One of them is giving anyone under, it's like 18 to 25 or 30 years old, money for so many months because the homeless, 18 to whatever age it is, there are so many of them homeless right now. And I'm like, what? How can this possibly be? That's, are they orphaned? Did their parents just throw them out and say, good luck? Have at it? Try and make a life in this world? I can't picture that, but I can't understand why they say that there's such a high percentage of that age. Yes, China is full of smog. I know the pollution's bad because they have a lot of manufacturers. My face is in the stone. Good to see you. Well, I didn't do that with my kids. I don't agree with that. At 18, they're just not ready. And even when they join the service, they're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to save our country. I'm ready to whatever their thoughts are when they join the service. And then you can, they're not mentally, I don't know. I won't go into that. Yeah. Yes, thank God. Faces in the stone. I understand. Bug Out Adventures, good to see you. So, of course, I have a couple of videos, and they're short. Well, one's not short, but I'm only going to show you a short part of it. And I just want to see what y'all think. Mentally mature. Yeah, you can be physically mature, but not mentally mature. I know it. I couldn't imagine either. But still, it's concerning that the government's going to give them this money, and is it going to help them or hinder? Are they going to get used to living off the government? Is that the plan? Or are they going to use that money to do something productive? It's just concerning. And other bill escapes my mind right now. Of course. Oh, let me see what's going on, Gina. Came home today only to find the illegals are my new downstairs neighbors. I'm really upset about this. Mommy, any thoughts? Ooh, I have a lot of thoughts on that. Um, I just read a thing where ICE is having a real problem in, I think it's Chicago. Um, I can pull up the article if y'all want me to, but um, with, uh, let's see, last year they tried to get 194 deportations and they were turned down. This year already they've had 119 that they are trying to deport because of illegal things that they have done. And whatever this agency is keeps saying no. And um, I hope that you're well protected with something. And um, no, it's not right. We need to fix our country first. We need to fix home first before we can worry about others. I think that um, I saw Ted Nugent today. He was saying, you know, for some of the crimes, it's best to just take care of it. um, I saw in one of the other countries, maybe Iran, one of the other countries, they're doing executions in a stadium for people to watch, but they won't let any media in there to film it, which, of course, but I don't want to see it anyway. But um, it's they put their foot down to the law and they're sticking to it. Bug out, exactly. Um, I was a little older than that, but yes, perseverance and hard work. It takes a lot of it. Now I see the propaganda, and they're not here. Even if they are here for a better life, right now is not the time for it. They're not. They're not going to get it. We're in a bad place, and so that's what these videos are about. Um, is what we speak into reality. Um, I think that was mentioned the other night. What we view, what we listen to, and what we speak, I think can um, I'm not fear mongering. Hey, Rich Hunter, it's good to see you. Wow, and that's exactly it. Wildlife, and they are coming over the border. You know what? I do. I want to clarify that. Um, the other night something was mentioned, and I did not have anything to back it up at that time, but it just kind of fell into my lap. It's weird how that happens, isn't it? It's taking a minute for it to load. This is from Feminine Publisher Politics. The Great Child Vanishing Act, Biden's administration's mystifying disappearance of 85,000 kids. A case of the missing, not a mystery novel plot. In an audacious move, Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird, alongside her counterparts from Mississippi and Utah, has thrown the gauntlet down on President Biden's doorstep. They're not asking for policy changes or budget increases. They want something far more straightforward. Find the 85,000 migrant children that seem to have vanished under the administration's watch. It's like a bad plot from a second-rate mystery novel, but unfortunately, this is real life, folks. And in this dire episode, the Biden administration plays the role of the bumbling detective, clueless and mapless. And that's as far as I'm going to read, but I just wanted to say that I was not making that up. I did not imagine it. It's real. So, let me start one of these videos. We got to get some good mindset here, right? Right. Okay. I got to mute. I know no one really talks about the children, and that's why I was talking about the children. And if that's what a bleeding heart is, then okay, I'm a bleeding heart. And yes, I believe there's more than 85,000 also. Okay, I'll mute.
Imagine with me life as a symphony, where everything works together to create the whole, where the high notes, the low notes, the pauses, the rests, the tempo changes, all contribute to the overall theme. None of it's unimportant or dismissible. How could it be? Without the low notes, the high notes don't mean anything. Without the rests, you don't get the satisfaction and the power of the moment that music re-emerges. In fact, it was the contrast that created the magic to begin with. All of it is needed, even when you don't understand why. You don't know that this slow beginning, the breaks, the tempo changes, that it will all be the reason you are soon awed by the crescendo that awaits. And how could you? It's one flow. The journey points in one direction. You are in this for the ride. See, in our lives, the obstacles, the chaos, the confusion, they hurt. They're unsettling. So the inclination is to dismiss them, to push them away. This isn't what I need. This is void of value. So get rid of it, we tell ourselves. When in reality, those things are integral components to your song. They are what culminate into your final piece. They're bringing you to that crescendo. Doesn't mean you have to love the challenging times. Of course not. But it does mean we should understand that even though we can't see it unfolding before our very eyes, it's all playing a role. My hurt made me stronger. My struggle injected meaning into my life. It made the song richer, the sound sweeter. Today is what it is because yesterday was what it was. And I know when I'm face to face with something that my gut instinct deems to be detrimental, that two things can in fact be true at once. That I need to work to right the ship, to repoint the compass, but also understand that the storm wasn't void of significance. The valley wasn't all for naught. It's gifted me new oceans to cross, new mountains to climb, and new perspective as I peer out over the view. So as you move through the dark, as you navigate the chaos of night, know that the light you're chasing is only meaningful because of the depths you are emerging from. Life beyond these shadows is not where the world begins. It's a continuation of an already beautiful journey you're on. It's your symphony in totality. See, the time will come when you'll look back and you'll be grateful for the so-called inconveniences that surround you now. Your heart needs the contrast that this adversity creates. Your soul depends on the hardship to understand the magnificence of life. It's why now, when it hurts, you must keep going. You have to keep going. You have to let the notes materialize into the beautiful song it will become. The masterpiece it was meant to become. In John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, he talks about momentum and how the saying, if you can't take the heat, then get out of the kitchen, doesn't quite get it right. Advocating that it should instead be, if you can't create the heat, then get out of the kitchen. And being that we are all leaders in our own lives, I think he hits on something that none of us should overlook. The power of momentum, of not waiting but creating. Reminding ourselves that we are not spectators, sitting in the stands and simply reacting to or complaining about the events taking place below. No, we have the ability to change the things we do not like and create the ones that don't yet exist when we know they should. Too much of the time we react to that metaphorical heat in the kitchen, as John alludes to, forgetting that we can dial it up or down. We're not only characters that have been created, we are ourselves creators. And I talk a lot about mental shifts that have changed my life, and there are plenty. But perhaps the most important was the realization that I can do something about the things I don't like. And I know that sounds simple, probably even obvious. But I look back at various stages of my life and am blown away by the amount of things I tolerated for years and years simply because I gave it no thought. There were so many questions that I never asked, so many opportunities I never explored. Until I realized, hey, you can stop accepting those things you don't want. It's amazing the power of a simple list that was created. 2 columns. Left side, all the things that bothered me, that I wasn't happy with, or that I knew should be there that had been lacking. And then on the right column, what I'm going to do about it. Every single item. Each one. What's the step I'm going to take? And I just poured my heart onto that paper, and it's like you look down and feel like you have finally moved into the driver's seat. There's something incredible about knowing that you have taken control, something satisfying, knowing that you're not just accepting what falls out of the sky and lands in your hands. Right? Especially since we seem to have this proclivity to box ourselves in. Human beings are amazing in their ability to adapt. But the danger is when we adapt to and normalize a reality that falls short of what matters to us. The danger is in forgetting that nothing happens without momentum, and momentum is self-made. One of my favorite stories is about a man walking through the circus. And he sees these enormous elephants, each with one end of a rope tied around one of their legs, and the other end of that rope connected to a chair. The man, as he's walking by, he's curious, asks one of the trainers, "Hey, isn't that dangerous? Couldn't the elephant easily break free and get away if he wanted?" And the trainer says, "No. See, we started doing this when they were baby elephants. And when they were babies, they couldn't physically break free. They weren't strong enough. And so over the years, as they grew and became bigger, stronger, it never dawned on them that by simply pulling on that rope or walking away, they could break free. These chains might as well be invisible." And that's what they were, mental. The rope wasn't keeping the elephants to the chair. The elephants were keeping the elephants to the chair. And there's something there in that message for all of us. For some of us in this particular moment, maybe it's big picture. For others, maybe we're at a season of life where it's simply creating momentum in some type of smaller capacity. And I travel through these ups and downs personally all the time. I think that's a healthy thing. It's a sign that you're looking for that growth. You're checking the world around you for those imaginary ropes. Recently, I went through a period where I just felt too long had gone by without something significant happening. I needed to create momentum. And so I asked, well, who was I reaching out to? How was I pushing myself? What was I doing that scared me? What was I doing that was growing? How could I take things up a level? All these little levers of opportunity are all around us, but we have to know to look for them, to see them and pull. And it's truly an incredible thing. You do that, and you start to feel the movement underneath you, the momentum, the excitement, because you're trying new things, you're taking new risks, talking to new people. And that's how that snowball grows. We have to realize that we are mighty big elephants, perpetually tied to these comically small chairs. We have to create that heat in the kitchen because we're not only capable, we are ready. We are equipped to move forward. See, the moment is never going to be perfect. The momentum will never come to be on its own, those things wait. They wait for you to stop watching life go by and click start on the stopwatch. Yeah, time has always ticked away, but it will never mean as much as it's about to now. Tick tock whispers the opportunity, signifying that in order to evolve, we must decide we are bold enough to go where we have not yet gone and strong enough to leave some things behind, to choose to accept some discomfort in its impermanence instead of a regret that is forever. And that's a trade that demands we look into the future and find value in the unseen. It's a move that says the seconds ticking by mean too much to dishonor them by not making the most of what's around you. And those answers are always there. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? We make decisions without even realizing we're making them. To accept the current moment as fate is to choose what you're given over what is possible, over everything that's out there available for you. It's never too late to pull on that rope around your foot, to be who you, as the saying goes, might have been. Know that in your world, nothing consistently shows up or exists without your stamp of approval. That will always be true. Nothing carries on without you allowing it to do so. And that understanding will be the difference between the ground level and the exponential heights you are capable of reaching. The creation, the email, the phone call, the ride, the book, the period of time, the step out the door, any and all of life's seemingly unremarkable characteristics. Within them is your ticket to greatness. Just know that you have to be the one that winds the clock. You are the sun around which everything else revolves, the architect that makes something of value from them. There will always be momentum where you decide there should be momentum. So pick your head up, open the door, and step out into the world of potential that awaits.
I mean, scream at him. What did I miss in chat? Because I knew it was close to the end. I was over there. He gets off. I think that's pretty powerful. Broken Patriot, good to see you. Sharon, good to see you. I miss the fun. I always do. So I don't know about y'all, but that entrapment, that believing that I was stuck where I was, that's what I've been working on. That's what I have been trying to grow from, is walking through the fear, walking through the just doing it. Anything that is holding me back, that is keeping me from being the person I want to be. It's just doing it. And it's hard to do. I can tell you. And some days it's like 2 steps forwards, 1 step back. That's for real. It's some days I'll feel like, oh, crap, I'm getting nowhere. And then the next day it's, yes, I am. Those thoughts are gone. Get rid of them. And so, yeah, I sound like I'm spinning out and going all over the place. Uh, and so then that comes to this. Hey, Carl, thank you. So I was just writing things down. Here we go. We all have things that have shaped us into being the person we are. By realizing that, we can become the person we want to be. The difficulty is for others to accept you as you are. That's where a lot of the problem is. People accepting you as you are, no matter what is wrong with you, no matter what, no matter what. Some things have become a part of you that can make you a hard person to love. So when does a person become worth the risk? When we see them making an effort, when we see their ability to be more, when we see their true heart and know their love and compassion for all, the way they help others in a positive, meaningful way, it's like, what is it? What is it that makes a person, how can you be lovable? It's what I was asking myself, because, and y'all say the sweetest things, but I don't see it. I'm, mm, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to drop the link because I see Carl. Haven't had you up here in a while. And Chuck, Indy. And if y'all want to come up, you're more than welcome to. Anaconda, good to see you again. Benjamin. It doesn't matter though. And that's what I'm talking about. When people accept you as you are, no matter if you're old, half blind, broke, tired, whatever it is, if people accept you as you are, to me, that is the true love. That is the love that is spoken of in the Bible. That is the love that is conquers all. That's when a person has reached their whole self, when they can love a person no matter what. Right? Am I wrong about that? I understand, Ruby. Chocolate and bacon if you really want to be loved, Carl. Right? Indy's got it going on in her own. Unconditional love is the most like God's love. Yes. And I think a lot of people don't know how to do that. I think that a lot of people are so full of self, pride, or ego, I don't know what it is, but that they can't see it when it's right in their face. And that to me is the saddest thing in the world. Mama Liam, good to see you. Well, that's true too. I don't know. You people are sick. Frog, go home. I don't feel sick either. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, kiss off and Rich Runner. You should be sleeping. Yeah, I guess it is 10 o'clock there. I know that there is people cannot let, they don't know how. Oh, I need to get out the bar of soap. Kiss off and Ridge Runner are running to hide. Hey there, Carl.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Howdy, Bonnie.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I should be sleeping. But you were on, and I've been listening since the beginning. Just kick back and actually going through buttons and parts and stuff.
I appreciate you coming in.
Well, thank you for inviting me up.
So what do you think?
As little as possible.
About the message.
Well, it wasn't wrong. I mean, the thing about doing for yourself, getting off your butt and doing something, like there's opportunity all over, and you look at the bright sides of stuff. That sounds like he took that right out of my book.
A lot of ours. Yeah. And well, but that's the thing though. It's different for everybody. Some people, okay, like I was talking about my grandmother and being so exhausted she couldn't even make it up the steps into the house to eat supper and fall asleep right there. I've been there. I've been that exhausted. Is that the way I want to be every day? No way. And so for some people, it's going to be different. You've got to still have the joy and happiness in your life. What's the use?
Is it just me, people, or did her microphone get all weird? Did you move it or something, Bonnie, or is it just my connection?
Well, you're kind of whoa, 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 whoa.
That's what I'm hearing from you. So we're both whoa, wah, wah, wah.
Okay.
What's up, Eric, Janet, everybody else there in chat? No, I couldn't hear what you were saying. There's some feedback. Watt says I turned everything off before I come up here.
But then there are people who want to be you and attract you to be you. Eric, thank you so much. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing okay. Okay, Ridge Runner, TMI.
No, Indy, I turned everything else off.
Hi, Janet. Good to see you. It's I don't know how to explain it. So you see, every time I talk, I can see you're moving.
Yeah, what Bonnie, what Indy just said about turning on the echo cancellation. Or I'll get down and come back. See if that helps.
Oh, I can do it just on call.
You should be able to.
I didn't know that. I thought it was for the whole channel, and then we all echo. Let me see. Mike.
Maybe it's Echo's fault. Maybe she's lurking.
Okay, talk. Hey, that did it.
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
Thank you, Indy. The Stream Barnacles. Good to see you.
The volume's down now.
Yeah, but it's gone. Ever
Yep.
since I turned off the echo cancellation on you. Woohoo! I learned something new. Now we don't have to go bouncing up and down to fix things.
No, but I gotta hold my head right close to the phone to hear you now.
Is my volume too low, y'all?
It is for me. It probably isn't for chat. This is, yeah. You know this. You notice that there's these StreamYard commercials on YouTube. Every time you click on something, there's a gal that comes up and starts talking, and you notice that what she's saying is, "Are you tired of all these technical glitches? Are you?" They know dang well what they're doing.
Thank you, Andy. Yes, they do. Spend more money and we'll give you this.
Yeah, I think they created the technical difficulties so they could charge us to fix them, like they did with spyware and malware on the computers.
Yep. Well, if you just got home, there you go, Chuck. Oh, I haven't even looked at a calendar. That's what I was wondering today. When is Easter this year?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I'm looking.
I can tell you it's going to be on a Sunday.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering if it coincides with a couple of things that are going on. The date.
Did your parents hide the Easter basket in your house and you had to find it on Easter morning?
Easter is on March the 31st. Did my parents hide Easter eggs in the house?
Yeah, did they hide the Easter basket in the house and you had to find it in the morning?
No. I don't even remember hunting Easter eggs. I remember my kids hunting Easter eggs at my grandmother's because she had a little dog. That little dog was my dog. Her name was Little Bit, and you can imagine what that was abbreviated for. And she was the cutest darn thing. But when we took the kids out, hid the eggs, she was going around with the kids, and she was picking up those eggs, and she was little part Pekingese and part Chihuahuas. She was little bitty, but somehow she got those eggs in her mouth and took off running. Hey, Chet.
Hey, y'all. Yeah, I've been out and about.
The
I've been out
bearded
and about most of the
Psycho
day.
Billy. It's the bearded Psycho Billy now, huh?
Yeah, I changed it.
Sorry, Chuck. What were you saying? before that?
I've been out busy all day today. Shit, got bill time coming up. I went and did something I'm dead set against. I went and sold a gun. That damn broke. Pay a damn bill.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts when you got to sell something you didn't want to sell.
I'm dead set against that, but Vicky ain't had her income working on 2.5 months, and that relying off my checks paying. Bonnie can tell you that.
Yep.
I ain't selling anymore. I won't.
Did you get a text from me with a link or with some information? Did you get a message from me about some information? AARP. That's the one. You're just now looking at your phone. This was like a week or two, or it's been a while.
Saw something like a meeting link or something.
No, this was different. Hey, Hawk, good to see you.
Well, Hawk, I think he did another 10-hour show or something today.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Kids Off. Hey, Kids Off. Hey, Andy. Hey, Eric. Hey, everybody. There's a thing that Carl used to like. Everybody, how fucked up something is.
Senator, Senate Minority Leader. No, I guess everybody's seen the video. Don't let the door hit you in the rump. Just rump.
Dad, you say don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you.
There you go.
He always came across as spineless to me.
It's, Cash Kelly and Casey do a Sunday evening. I guess it's dad jokes. It's just a joke time, and I can't remember if it lasts 30 minutes or an hour, but
I'll have to resend that, whatever it was you sent, if you can.
hey, Annie, Jack.
How you been doing, Bonnie and Carl?
What was that?
I said, how are you and Bonnie been doing?
I'm just working, and then I'm working more. I've been getting up at dang early hours. This nighttime stuff is hard to do.
You back sewing and stuff? Or?
Yep. I've been doing other stuff than just sewing now.
You know what I can see you doing, Carl? I don't know if you ever did it, though, is doing interior in cars.
I do interiors of cars. I do home, boat, car upholstery, do it all. I just posted some video and a picture of the pontoon boat we're working on, and did all refabricated everything, tore the old carpet off, put new decking on it, reupholstered all the seat, all new canvas, new bimini top. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos. I've got what's called a camper back. It's a big boat, and we're going to put zip open curtains all the way around the back of it with mosquito netting and clear vinyl and all that. It'll be pretty much a tent on the back of a speedboat, and we've got a double decker party barge. We got a bunch of stuff I'm going to try to get video of.
I always liked them double decker barges, but now I'm getting too old and too big. I'd be afraid to either fall in or I'd throw the weight off and flip it.
Can you swim?
Yeah, I ain't done it in years, but
you can float.
Yep, shit floats.
That's, if nothing else, I can float.
That was the one thing I could never do was float. My mom could float like a freaking bobber. She didn't have to swim at all. She just lay in the water and float there. If I
Yeah.
stop moving, I sink.
Women float good because they got built-in flotation devices.
Yeah,
That's
she did have
true.
that.
I didn't when I first learned how to float. That's not it.
I remember them party barges in the 70s when I lived on a big lake here in Michigan. Man, they had diving boards on the second deck, and that was a lot of fun as a kid.
Hey, Auntie. Hey, Prog. Indy.
So what do y'all think about all this with Trump? Like, so I just saw where he's going, that the Supreme Court is going to decide presidential immunity. What concerns me about that is the existing.
Yep,
If,
the one we got.
yeah, and so if that goes into effect, then everything, treasonous, whatever. Oh well, it's already like that.
I'm sticking with what I said for months. I'm still sticking with it.
But
Well, basically, they use a biological weapon on us. Nobody gets held accountable. Nobody even talks about that no more. Then they put out a poison cure, and nobody does anything about that. Then they steal it, and nobody does anything about that. And then they set people up, and then they don't do nothing about that. And they're just going along like nothing's ever happened, and it's just going to go right up to election time. And then something bad's going to happen, because if the right wins, the left's going to lose. If the left wins, the right's going to lose it. Folks, we're headed for something bad. I don't see any way around it.
that's what I'm thinking too, because I saw Michigan. Trump won Michigan, and
Yeah.
it said by a landslide, like 70-80%, something like that. And then that lady only got something, and then Vivek got a couple. So and then the next headline was they are neck and neck, Biden and Trump for Michigan. And I was like, how did this happen? Overnight, here we go, all over again. The headline changed.
Yeah, I went and early voted today. Or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. That's right, because I was busy today.
Well, if I don't get my surgery done, I'm not going to be able to vote.
Can't see it to do it. Or,
You have to have a driver's license to vote.
I thought you can get away with it, but you don't have ID either.
No.
Hawk, mine's
Well,
32.6%, and then I sprinkled keep all over it.
you're right.
I'm just messing with Hawk.
See, that's what I saw anyhow, Jack. I guess I could go get an ID until at least have an ID.
Yeah, Carl, all that you were talking about, nobody's doing anything about that was messed up too. And they're like, they're saying we didn't do it. The others, the ones on that end are like, well, they said they didn't do it, so they must not have.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't know, man. There's been a whole lot of stuff being ignored. I don't think you can ignore that stuff forever.
it's like the end of 2021, end of 2020. Gas was $1.60 something over here, and everybody's like, it wasn't that cheap. I'm like, bullshit.
Oh,
Hey,
well,
trying to one up my cannabis. How dare you?
You spit on the voice.
I'm trying to cook dinner, and here you go, wanting to shoot shit about cannabis. Come on now. What the heck?
Hey, I don't even shoot it at all. I just smoke it.
Yeah, that 26% was what Nikki Haley got. 26.7% is what Nikki Haley got.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, but when you put just the percentage out there, I automatically think of weed, so it's kind of your fault.
No. Well,
Oh, no.
I guess I'll have to join you, but anyways, but where you got to remember where the Trump and the Biden thing is in the mix of that is you got to remember that Biden doesn't have anybody primarying against him. So this was a primary. Right. It wasn't the election. It was a primary.
Right.
So 100% of the Democrats are going to vote for the one Democrat. You know what I mean? True. So that's what they're going.
I think I saw somewhere just recently, within the last 40 hours, a group of Republicans got caught in Michigan voting as Democrat, or vice versa. Democrats voting as Republicans.
Yeah, correct. Well, it didn't just happen there. That also happened in South Carolina and in Pennsylvania as well. Because South Carolina was an open primary. So that means both Democrats and Republicans could vote in the primary. Okay. And even with those odds being tossed out there, Trump still walked away the winner of that primary.
Funny that you mentioned that, Janet. I didn't see it on mine.
And I thought he was.
Yeah, because he's running as an independent.
Oh, I thought he was under the Democrat ticket for some reason.
So yeah, I don't know. No. He's running as an independent. Because right. I mean, well, it all started when he asked for Secret Service protection, because of the fact that he was now a legitimate candidate and had filled out all the paperwork in all 50 states, everything else. At that point there, once your paperwork is accepted into all 50 states, you should have a minimum of a 6-man Secret Service detachment attached to you. Okay. And Biden refused him that courtesy. Okay. So, and then at that point there, the leader of the DNC stated that they would not allow anybody to primary against Biden because he's the incumbent president. Okay. So they wouldn't allow him to primary against him. So RFK had to go independent. Now, independents don't get to primary
right
at all. Okay. The states only do a Democrat or a Republican primary or an open primary, which is both Democrats and Republicans. Okay. So RFK is sitting on the side, just going around doing speeches, things like that, promoting himself, he's doing the legwork, but he does not get to be involved in any of the primaries. He won't get to come forward until the actual race begins for presidency. Then at that point there, then it's all out. And even then, I don't think he's going to get the protection that he's going to need. I basically they don't want a Kennedy in office again. Come on.
Now I got you up here, Hawk. Did you see a recent compilation of all the Rothschilds liquidations and deaths over like the last 10 or so years? I just recently saw something about that with the new Rothschild death, that when you look at everything that's happened to that family in the last 10 or more years, it's quite telling in my eyes.
Well, the sale of the Black Forest, things like that were the real kickoff, and that was in 2017. And then I know that there's been at least 3 big events in regards to them each year up until now.
Selling mansions and companies and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's and the thing is Nathaniel Rothschild is the heir, and he has not been recognized in public since the photographs with Ghislaine Maxwell were taken, which was before, just months before her arrest. He hasn't been seen or heard of since then. So
if I was him, I'd disappear too, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, he definitely does not have his father's brain where it comes to banking. So
William.
I just saw today that Biden went to the hospital unexpectedly.
Well, he had a physical too.
For a physical. And I was like,
yeah. And they refused to do a cognitive test on him, because he's just good to go. He's just, but it was just
like 2 days ago, I saw somebody calling for Trump to get a mental evaluation.
Yeah. Well, it's, the thing is one side, it basically boils down to what I blame you for doing is exactly what I'm doing.
Projecting. They project it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like manifesting too.
Yeah. So there's a lot there. There's a whole lot there. There's just so many. And the thing is in all actuality, it really doesn't matter party to party. What matters is, somebody being in office that's going to clean up this mess, period. And in all actuality, I'm almost thinking the dissolving of, at least 80% of our government. We only need 20% of them there. We don't need all these people. We don't.
And they don't need to be there full time.
Yep.
Hey, I've heard the so-called experts say that it would work better at about 10% capacity of what it is now.
Yep. Yeah. It's because it's the ability to hide corruption in such a large government is simple. If we go down to 10% of the government that we currently have now, it will be very telling if you do anything corrupt.
Well, including the military, law enforcement, and everything right down to local levels, I hear there's just over 22 million government employed people.
Good grief.
David in.
Okay.
Good night, David.
I'll tell you what, David, you can move Biden in with you. Okay. You can take care of him. Make sure you change his diapers regularly. You go right ahead with that. God bless
Somehow
you.
I just don't think Biden's going to make it to New Year's night. I mean, I think this is his last year on Earth for some reason.
Well, I think that if RFK Jr. were to put out that he needed protection, I think he could get some volunteers, actually.
I believe that there was protection offered through a group of veterans.
Awesome. See?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Did somebody hack David in or what? What's going on there?
Biden's nothing to me. Biden's a piece of shit criminal. That's what he is. He's a fucking traitor. That's what he is. Okay. Sorry, Bonnie. I was trying to refrain from using the language. But he's a traitor.
David, please be respectful.
No, I don't even think that's David.
I don't know.
Well, some people just like to mix it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the creation of drama. keeps them happy. Gives them the inside giggles.
So when did we lose, or have we ever been able to decide as Americans, we the people, how our tax money is spent?
Oh,
Okay.
well, she's fired. Now, first off, I knew that he had to be either joking or hack. He says he was just kidding. But I'll tell you about that. People used to complain that it was taxation without representation. It's way worse than that. Now they weaponize our own taxes against us. So what do you call that?
Well, okay. So first off, what we have to realize is that the government is not run by our tax dollars. Okay. Our tax dollars are going to pay the debt that was incurred by the British royalty and the French royalty. Okay. That's where all our money goes, is to pay that debt. They print the money for everything else. Okay. And they use their surety notes in order to back them. Okay. And it's really just a bunch of hogwash that's going on. And I think that's why, Trump said we're not playing this game anymore, is because of the fact that they've been paid in all these years. Our debt has never been as high as it is today. I mean, we're coming up on $35 trillion now.
Yeah.
Okay? We've never, our debt has never ever been this high before. Okay. I seem to remember as a kid, they were talking about $1 trillion and $2 trillion. And that it would be paid off, within a 2-year period. But, now we're looking at the debt that we have today. And all of that boils down to, what they're printing. Okay. Because who owns the Fed? The Rothschilds. Okay. So they print the money. The U.S. government uses it, sends it out all around the world. Okay. Instead of focusing on our own country, they send it out all around the world. Okay. And expect us to pay their debt back. Okay. That's the corporation that went bankrupt back in 1933. The bankruptcy ended in 1999. Okay. And when that bankruptcy ended, the corporation died. Okay. And in that, okay, in the death of the corporation, okay, all these, fees, fines, levies, everything all the way down the line, and interest is being put upon the on the people from the United States, okay, for illegal money printing by a corporation, spending their money, their printed dollars, okay, to pay. Yeah, exactly. Your tax dollars are not going to Ukraine. They're going to create new money that's going to Ukraine, and then they're making you beholden to it so that you can continue to believe in this system. Correct. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's what I was trying to explain. I was just doing it the long way. He did it shortly. Thank you.
Well, so it's still the same thing. They're just going a roundabout way of doing it.
No, they're just lying to us. They're not telling us that they're printing new money to send over there. Okay, which is building interest on the American people.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's that. And so their claim is that we're paying off the interest for the money for the loan in order to establish our country from 1776. Okay. Here we are in 2024. We haven't paid off that debt already.
Yeah. Each year it just keeps growing, and this is the first year that it has grown. So out of the park, it isn't even funny. I mean, usually with the president, it goes up, what is it, 9 billion or something like that?
on an average, it can be anywhere between 80 to 90 billion is what the average increase to our debt is. Okay,
And it's usually
exactly. But basically, since 2001, since our incursion into Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria and other countries, because we didn't just stay in those two places, okay? And don't let anybody fool you thinking that we did, okay? You know, that basically all the money that was given to those tribal leaders over there in Afghanistan was all money that was printed and sent over there. They printed it, sent it over. They printed it, sent it over. Printed it, sent it over. Okay. And we're told that it's the taxpayers' dollars that are doing that. No, our taxpayer dollars are going in the pockets, okay, of these crooks sitting in Washington, D.C. That's where our taxpayer dollars are going. They're stealing our money. Okay. I mean, listen, when Congress first started out, okay, there was a minimal of, I believe it was that they got a stipend of $2,000 a year. Now that is back in 1776, 1777. Of course, that's,
right.
But that stipend was what was used, and it wasn't used to do anything other than to feed them while they were in DC, to also to transport them from wherever they were. Okay, so like if they came from Maine and they were going to Washington D.C., instead of riding on horseback, they could take a boat. Okay, they could take a ship, and that money was per diem. I believe it was the word for it. Okay, so they were given a $2,000 per diem. Now these people are, in the last 10 years, have gotten 10 pay increases.
Yep.
In 10 years, they've gotten 10 increases to their pay. And they don't do anything.
No.
They do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they'll try to get something to go to help something beneficial, but they'll kick it. But unless they got a raises involved with it for them too, they'll sneak that stuff in the back.
Yep. And it's just it's this cycle that's going on, and we it's I mean, look at Fraudchi, okay, $500,000 a year to run the CDC, making more than 3 members of Congress combined, making more than the President of the United States, making more than any other position in the country. He is the highest paid government worker that actually doesn't work for the government.
Who is that?
Fauci.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. The NIH and the CDC are not government owned. They were private businesses contracted to the U.S. government.
Yes.
No different than the IRS and the Fed. None of them are government entities. They're all contractors to the government.
Yeah, basically they should be considered 1099, but
Yeah. So Regina's asking a question. I was told some of the debt, I think it's debt, is different government departments borrowing from other departments. Is that true?
Well, let's see. They got $90 billion to send to Ukraine from the Defense Department. Okay. And guess what? Because Biden signed off on it, they don't have to pay it back. They don't have to give that money back to the Defense Department.
That same thing they did here recently. I heard they went into Social Security again and grabbed a bunch of money.
Yep. Oh, they've been stealing from Social Security since day one. No answers much about it.
Yeah.
It just got more blatant and open since Obama.
Mortgage and loans and vehicle, so on is piece of paper. It's us. I do it. Pay money to pockets.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the sense of that one. You lost me a little bit.
Elaine's gets excited.
Yeah. Do I believe Lynn Wick? Benjamin says, "Don't worry, everybody. Nasara at midnight. Everybody's a millionaire." According to Lynn Wick.
That means I got to get my recliner out by the mailbox.
Yeah. It's I mean, if it's supposed to happen at midnight, it should be instant. You shouldn't have to wait for it to come in the mail. You know, if you got
pot of gold.
Yeah, it's a well, wait a minute. Where is it? Isn't it isn't it midnight somewhere in the States? No, it's not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
7:30. Okay.
30
I
minutes.
thought it was 8:30 or 9:30.
The way I've always heard is you piss in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up first.
Only money anybody's going to see tomorrow or the next day is if you're on some kind of Social Security, because the third's on Sunday, and so everybody gets paid early except what do you call it, SSI. They get theirs on the first anyway, I think.
Yeah. And that's part of one of those bills too, is the government shutdown, trying to delay that. I think that starts March the 5th. There's so many dates going around. I know that the law that Abbott put in starts March the 5th. And why the wait, I don't know. And Elaine, I did see your message about checking into state legislature and all of that. I will be doing that.
Yeah, hell, Elaine, when $1 is printed, they put a little bit of interest on it. It's like it's either 1 cent or 1%. I can't remember what it is anymore, but that's something you never pay back. If you hand them $1, it's not $1 and a percent or a penny, so they hand you one, but you can't pay back because every dollar you get to pay something off, there's still that percentage floating.
Yeah.
I'm quite upset with Michigan government right now. You know, I've been trying to get insurance for my vehicle, and I spent about 2 days either on hold or on the phone with so many different companies across this country. And I've learned things, how Michigan is the only one to be doing certain things. They have health care deductions. I give them my name, my birth date, everything, and they have to legally ask me if I'm a male. Can you believe this crap?
It's crazy.
There is something really wrong, because all I'm trying to do, I've never had a traffic ticket, never had none of this. I've got a perfect record. All I want to do is be legal on the road, and it's costing me money you wouldn't believe. But the stuff that the reasons they're making up for this is some woke ass shit. this government screwed up here, man. They are doing this intentionally. They must be.
Out of our pockets and dropped at the border. Try looking up the general. I don't know if you checked into them, Carl.
The general doesn't cover this area. I think it's because of all the new laws.
I remember I moved out here, and when I first moved out here, I had State Farm insurance, and I've had it for years over in Shreveport. Went across 1 mile over the state line, basically, is how far I am, and it was probably 15 miles to the insurance office. And Texas didn't take Louisiana State Farm insurance. I had to transfer it over here, which State Farm there didn't know it. Nobody, the one over here didn't know it. Nobody knew it. And come to find out, since Katrina, Texas is real funny about insurance has anything to do with Louisiana because all the lawsuits they ended up having because of it.
Well, one of them says it's, and I don't know if it's true or not, but one of those representatives told me that the reasons Michigan's like this is because there's so many, what do they call that, when somebody like jumps in front of a car to sue somebody or something, so many insurance fraud. There's so much insurance fraud in Michigan that's why they've started doing this.
Yeah. Someone in a foreign country did that with my dad, and it didn't work out so well for him. I mean, that's not funny, but he didn't make it. He didn't get any money.
Yeah, I saw somewhere where somebody was talking about their insurance company. If you had front and rear cameras in your vehicle that ran when you were in it, that you got big deductions on your insurance. I guess just for that, to see if it's fraud, or it's kind of like that little thing you plug under the dash. And a lot of cars it's a tattletale, but
A decade ago, I paid $17 a month for car insurance because I lived out in the middle of nowhere, because I never had no traffic tickets, no drinking and driving. Nobody else drove my truck. It was PLPD. There was now I'd say 80% of the companies I talk to, 8 out of 10 of them, they can't even insure a vehicle that goes anywhere past 1981. All right, their system only goes back to 1981 now.
yeah, they insure it as an antique or whatever, a show car or whatever you want to call it.
Now there's troubles in Michigan at every corner with that. Like Haggerty, they are specialists in every, for old antiques and stuff. And they wanted to help me, and they couldn't, because they said, because I don't have another full-time driver. All right, I don't have another car that I drive regularly, so they couldn't do anything for mine.
And so that's what we do here. We put the vehicle under vintage, and because there's a lot of antique vehicles driving around here that are a whole lot older than 81 or whatever you said.
Well, I found the only option it really is, and I just have to save up for it. It's going to cost me a ridiculous amount of money for the first 6 months, and after that, after 6 months of no events, I go off of that high risk thing, so it should lower.
Oh, okay.
But it's because I haven't had consecutive insurance over the years that I'm a high risk. How you like that? Doesn't matter if you have a perfect driving record anymore, folks. It counts for nothing.
Yeah, what we can thank Obama for cash for clunkers, getting rid of all them old school.
Oh, they can kiss my lily white ass about all that. I ain't getting rid of my truck.
Well,
There's force everybody to go to these fucking railback vehicles.
they've been they've turned around about the EVs. They're excuse me, they're realizing the problems and seem to be not pushing them like they were. It's Somewhere I saw that.
That just has to be another attempt at breaking us down, because it'll just, it's going to cripple. There's so many gas and diesel engines that run this world. They're intentionally trying to hobble us.
Well, and it takes those fossil fuels to make the batteries to run the dang cars anyway. So what are they accomplishing?
That, and when the battery goes bad, you can't dispose of it. There's nothing they can do with it.
And that you can't
And
recycle them.
if you pay $40,000 for the car and you run it 5 years, the car is all of a sudden not worth 20. Then you turn around, the battery goes out in it. The damn battery probably costs you 20 or 25,000. Some of them to replace.
Yep. Wrong.
Sorry about that. I had to go cook.
Well, like he said, momentum. We got to get the momentum going. Get everybody on the same page, going for the same goal to fix this. It can be fixed. I really and truly think it can, but it's going to take a whole lot of people to get together to do it. I mean, one person can't do it.
After all this malarkey, I think my goal is to get out of Michigan.
Well, yeah. I would have been doing that quite a while back.
Oh, I probably would have done it by now too if I could have pulled it off. I'm getting there.
That's why they don't want to give you insurance, so you can't leave.
That's
Right.
what it feels like, man. Man, whatever you do, don't go off grid if you ever want to get back on it.
Yeah. I can imagine the roadblocks they'd put up for that.
Well, I guess it probably would be easier if somebody was well-to-do, because it seems like everything revolves around money. I don't even like money. I really don't. I just have to have it in order to survive.
Yeah, because nobody else will say, "Oh, you don't like money, me either. Here, take this."
Well, I trade when I can. I really like to trade. That's a pastime of mine. I actually enjoy.
I used to like horse trade.
Yeah. Yeah. Same as bartering, right?
A few years back, one guy started off trading a wheat penny to somebody for something, and when he got done and finally quit, he got a house out of the last trade. He kept trading for a little better, and over like 6 months or a year, he went from that one wheat penny to it was a house.
I don't think that's going to work either, Runner. Moose Man told me about the USAA. It's a company that would give auto insurance to veterans and the kids of veterans. So I called them up, and after about 2 hours of hee-hawing around, they told me finally that, well, yeah, they could insure me, but I have to pay for an entire year to start my insurance. That's what they told me.
So you want to have a good laugh?
Yes.
Dr. Phil. Okay.
Yeah.
Is going on all these different podcasts and everything. And he's crying because Instagram and Facebook took down his video about the border.
Whose video, Hawk?
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil went to the border.
Yeah. And he questioned this guy in regards to one of the head of the border police about the child trafficking and everything, and so he posted that particular clip up on Facebook and Instagram, and they shut him down 50 minutes after it went up. He got shut down.
Wow.
I don't know if anybody's aware of this guy, but I've been watching him. It's JLR Investigates. Have you seen him, Hawk?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does some good stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
That'll probably get him blackballed. There's a lot of them celebrities got blackballed just for agreeing with the other side.
Yeah. Just, but it's like, these big names, they're crying about being censored when we've been being censored for what, going on 7 years now?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, in ways I don't think people even see, Hawk. That JLR just did a video here a few days ago, and it was about a migrant camp near a little town on the border. And I got the coordinates. I could see exactly where he was and everything. And I found all that on Google Earth. But the entire massive migrant camp that he visited and showed all over on video is not visible from Google Earth. Go figure.
Well, no, because they're not. They're back like, if I'm not mistaken, they're like 5 months behind. 6 months behind.
It's not a new camp.
They blur it out, or they'll make it where it's nothing there, or
they'll cover it with trees. They'll just take a mirror image of a bunch of trees that are around that area so that everything's uniform, and they'll insert that.
A few years back, I was looking all at Antarctica where they're talking about the things that are up there, and now you can't see it. It's just weird looking triangle blotches.
Yeah, I actually watched that change in Antarctica because I used to Google Earth Antarctica all the time. And suddenly there were big swatches of different changes that were like blocking out entire areas. And it's not, I'd already been all over them areas. So it's almost like they're trying to make people think they're hiding something, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be.
I remember like 15 years ago or so, you probably heard them talking about it here recently about that they found a pyramid up there. I remember seeing it.
So much on that.
It was only like 50 feet up, but no, that's a mountainside, but you are a mountain peak, but you can't go there and look.
I've seen the pyramids, Chuck. I've seen the big caves. I've seen the alien crash sites, the tanks lined up fighting aliens. I've seen so many things they say happens over there.
That JLR Investigates, he just did oh, poo. Oh, well, never mind. I didn't say that. Hey,
Charles, still going. Let me live that down or not?
Fires on the Easter Island.
Frog, I've never watched this Mike Penny guy, but I have never seen anybody so trash talked in chats over the last few years. I mean, I don't have to watch him because I see how people feel about him. I've literally seen more than 100 people come into chats and go, "This Mike Penny guy,"
And he was well spoken. He was like a messiah of knowledge. He just can't keep saying that.
It's okay. So let's back up a little bit. Okay. I'm not gonna rag on Mike too much because he was okay.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I got him mixed up. I was talking about a Phil guy.
A what?
A guy named Phil is the one I was thinking of.
Zaluski or Zaluski.
Yes, that's the one. But I've also heard people say it about Mike Penny. Just that Phil guy was more popular.
Yeah. Well, where Mike Penny's concerned, Mike fell in with the wrong crowd, and he really he was duped into doing a lot of things that actually one was not good for his health, and definitely was not
Yeah.
good for his credibility with people. Okay.
Yeah, he had a heart attack or two, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a heart attack after coming back from Dallas. You
Yes,
know,
I remember that.
it's that big fiasco in Dallas where it's they're waiting for the reveal of JFK. Listen, if JFK
Oh,
Jr. is alive, that's awesome. That's great. Okay, but he hasn't revealed himself. Okay, and until he reveals himself, nobody knows if he's alive or dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to we kind of need to leave that alone. Okay, and these people were duped into going down to Dallas. Okay, down to that one particular area there in
There was a
order
bunch of them.
for this event. They had people there that, I mean, there was a guy there that literally was acting and talking like Richard Pryor. And these guys came back and said, yeah, we met with Richard Pryor, we met with Robin Williams, we met with all these people.
Michael
Okay, you didn't get any video of any of it. Okay, so your credibility just got shot out the window. Okay,
Yeah.
then the guy that went with him abandoned him. Okay, and he had the heart attack. Okay, and after the heart attack, he did in fact have an awakening, and he has tried to clear his shit up. Okay, he's tried to clean up his mess. Okay, and I think he's done a pretty good job at cleaning up his mess. Do I recommend people to go watch him? No, I don't. Okay, because it's when you got guys like Negative 48 and all these other guys that are pumping all this excess stuff in there. Okay, that's not dealing with the problems that we have today. Okay, that's everything's a 100% focus on the future. No knowledge about what's happening today. Okay, and that's what people need. People need to know what's happening today, what is being done today, what's going to be done this week. Okay, with a concerted foothold, knowing that this is going to happen. Okay, dates. That was another thing that Mike fell into, was giving dates. Okay, and since then, he himself has not put out any dates, but people that he associates with, again, do. Okay, that's not cool. That's not cool in any way. Okay, it's the thing about Nasara Jasara. If Nasara Jasara is real, that's great. Okay, but if you look hard enough, you'll notice that there are two different Nasara Jasaras. Okay, and you don't know which one was signed by Clinton. Okay, the rumor is that the military went in, forced Clinton to sign it, and they were going to New York to get it done, and that's when they blew the towers and stole the gold out of, and Building 7 is where all the gold in the basement was. They stole all the gold, and then they pulled the plug on that building too. Okay,
had a heyday with that, I think.
So if that is in fact legitimate, okay, because documents can be forged. Okay, let's be clear about that right off the bat. Documents can be forged. Anybody can get on the internet and make a document. Okay. Now, this is the thing. When you have people who are promoting this Nasara Jasara, and you've got people believing that this is going to happen, what are they doing? They're spending and spending and spending. Okay. And in doing so, believing that the riches of Nasara are going to save them in the long run. But what if
like people trying to sell their birth certificates and social security cards and shit?
And what if Nasara Jasara isn't real, and it turns out to be a bunch of BS? And it's like then you're stuck with all these bills and everything. No way to pay them. You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your car. You're going to lose everything. And where Phil Godsky is concerned, that Frog just made a 100% correct statement. He financially ruined people's lives. People made life changes thinking they were about to get Nasara, and Phil really, really, it's these people who have signed over their life savings, okay, to these gold companies and silver companies, signing their IRAs and their retirements over and stuff like that. What people don't realize is he gets over 20% of the money that you put into that IRA. Phil gets 20% of that.
And I've seen where people fell for it. They really did think that they were going to be debt free, and they just.
All right, brother. Hey, it was good to see you,
So
Chuck.
bad for 'em.
Night,
Bye.
Chuck.
Love
Good
the
night.
beard, man. Love the beard. Keep it growing.
And that's interesting. I didn't know the 49ers were named after the gold miners.
Yeah, that's what the original. That's what the original gold mining, gold rush people were. They were the 49ers.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't get that to disappear.
Yeah, it's $100,000 a month or $5,000. Now, $5,000 a month Social Security, with the way prices are today, I could actually see that. That would actually be reasonable for somebody in their late 60s, early 70s, even in their 80s. Okay. They'd be able to pay their Medicare without a problem. They'd be able to pay for their housing without a problem. It's to me, that is a fair amount. But I mean, a lot of elderly people, they're lucky if they get $2,000 a month, and they've paid in their entire lives.
I didn't take those stimulus checks. I didn't take any kind of. I haven't taken anything from anybody. I ain't gonna take that, even if they give it out. I'll do for myself. I don't want nothing like that.
I'll take it.
And the thing is that stimulus check, you got to pay tax on that.
Yep.
Well, I never took them, so I ain't got to pay nothing.
You got to pay tax on that stimulus check. That's where a lot of people are saying that. Well, I'm getting hit with I owe $300. Normally I get money back, but I got to pay $300, or I got to pay up to $700. Yeah, that's because you took the stimulus check.
Only thing I want from this government is for them to protect this country. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Before they go helping anyone else.
$5,000 a month for how long? Well, I mean, if you think about it like this: if you paid, well, you got to think about how long Social Security has been around, what's been paid into it. Okay, death benefits that were never paid to anybody. Okay, people who ended up dying before collecting Social Security and things like that. That can be spread. Okay, I see that would be $60,000 a year. Okay, maybe that's a little bit much.
I would live well at $5,000 a month. I get less than that, a lot less than that.
That's what the other bill is. It is. They are wanting to pay so much money to dead people, and I'm like, how? They're not here.
Yeah. And the thing is that a lot of times when people die, the families don't even end up getting the death benefits.
Right.
They're denied the death benefits.
Or do they even have families?
And if they commit suicide, there are no death benefits, to file for. It's that's kind of ridiculous.
Yes, and how far back are they going to go?
But they can still vote after they die.
Well, that's true. That's true. And they always vote Democrat. I'm getting a tattoo on my forehead that says, when I die, register me as a Republican. So I vote Republican,
That's a good headstone.
Yeah. Speaking of headstone,
There was
Are you talking about stoned heads or headstones?
three
It doesn't-
famous people
It doesn't
passed
matter.
away.
It all falls under the same category. You said stoned.
Well, I'm not as think as you stoned. I am.
I'm not. I'm not as. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was good. Skywalker OG Kush. Nice evening smoke. Not too heavy. Doesn't put you to sleep. Just kind of let you ride through the night, you know?
That's probably why I'm still awake. I got the best weed in town.
Yeah. What are you smoking?
Don Maga, 32.8%. Then I sprinkled this. I could buy this whole little jar of keef for only $16.
Oh, nice. 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 Does he tell you what strain to keep it?
It was a Kush, but I can't keep track. Hawk, there's 7 dope stores all within walking distance here, and each one of them has 100 flavors. So I just go in there and tell them to give me the most toxic stuff they got. It's been a search though. I mean, to get the really stanky stuff is hard to find.
Then it's generally, in order to get the stanky stuff, you have to go with a lower grade, lower quality, because they'll hide it in the lower quality jars for their own personal, for people that they really prefer as customers, instead of just regular customers.
There's so much competition that weed is the only thing that's gone down in price.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can buy an ounce here for $20. So, yep. Pounds are around 200 a pound. They have instructions to lay me face down on the pyre so the world can kiss my ass before they light it up. Good. There you go, Anti. Yeah. So, yeah. I think my grandfather said that when I was a kid about being buried with no pants and ass up so the world can kiss his ass goodbye. And he was a World War II veteran, so he had good reason to kind of hate the world.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So this other news that I got yesterday, the FBI raids a vet's home, forces pregnant wife and child to stand outside in 12-degree weather. And
yeah, the kid wasn't dressed and neither was she.
Yeah, and she was barefooted and pregnant.
Yep.
And had a miscarriage the next day. And this man was a U.S. Marine veteran.
Yep. He was a J6.
He was at J6 and
was nowhere near the Capitol. Was absolutely nowhere near the Capitol. He went back to his hotel after Trump spoke.
Yeah. So it's still going on.
Yep. Yep.
That's awful.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people from this area that went and down in the Texas area as well that went that they're basically just waiting to have their doors knocked upon.
But the way they did it, I mean, 3 armored vehicles and the whole SWAT team, they had like, in the article, it sounds like at least 100 people there to arrest one man.
Yep.
Well, that's standard operating procedure. Did you see how they arrested old Roger Stone, one of Alex Jones' buddy there a couple years ago?
Yeah.
The new CNN was there first. What does that
Yep.
tell you?
Yep, the media was there first, and it was
Yeah,
but they had they had one of those Ring doorbells with the camera in it, and they actually recorded that whole thing. In regards to that. It's all over Twitter.
Man.
Yeah, I think I actually have the video right here.
And they have all the proof about January 6th. And that's what they keep on hitting Trump with is insurrection. I just saw.
The thing is, nobody has been charged with insurrection. Not one single person. Nobody that's been arrested and charged has ever been charged with insurrection. And Trump sure as hell has not been charged with insurrection. Why? Because there was no insurrection. The insurrection happened on November 3rd when they stole the election.
Yes. And I think it was Indiana. They're trying to, a judge ruled him off the ballot there. Illinois are those two?
Yep. Benji state.
Yep.
I know it's here.
There's got to be just some way to stop this. It just has to be.
It's going to. And it's going to, when it does, it's going to be abrupt. So much shit's going to be shown in a very short period of time that people are going to either sit back, run outside, cheer, jumping around, screaming, or they're going to be hiding in their rooms, waiting to see if somebody's coming to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's and those that are hiding and waiting for somebody to come get them, it's because they did something wrong.
Yeah. Stephanie Kerr, good to see you, sweetie.
Hey, Stephanie.
Oh, you're making a lot of noise over there, little one. For being 5 years or 5 days old, you got lungs like your father, who's 3.5.
Yeah, this is some crazy weather. It was in the 70s yesterday, and then it was in the 20s. It's back. Hey, Chrissy Cat.
This weather's been crazy. It was 91 here yesterday, and today it's 50s. And then tomorrow, same, and then the next day, 80s.
Well, 70-something degrees in February in Michigan. Last year, it was 35 below zero at the end of February. That's quite a difference.
Yes, it is. And that's what Texas, we were getting warnings from ERCOT. We were getting warnings from our co-op that expect another snowmageddon. We're going to have a really horrible winter. Even Farmer's Almanac said it. And so we're all prepared with all this backup heat and everything. And 3 days of ice on the road, I think is it. It's just.
So the guy's name is Cuny. Was the Marine's name, Chris Cuny. And this is the video that was put out by Gabe.
I got to go. Move it. I'll tell you when you're in. Yep.
You just had surgery. Nobody in our house.
Where is your surgery?
You got surgery on his left wrist.
Left side. Okay. It's okay, buddy. It's okay, buddy.
He had surgery because he had he just went to the VA on Friday.
Okay.
He had surgery. You guys have to be really careful. He's not.
I got to go.
She's warning him too. You heard what she was warning him about, right? He suffers from severe PTSD. He was just at the VA 2 days ago for it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, you better be careful. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, these to me, these are a bunch of cowards. This isn't law enforcement as far as I'm concerned. Okay, these are criminals, is what I see there. Okay, those are
Sean.
criminals. You know,
Yes.
it's that simple. You know, criminal activity by our government is what that is, and it's
Absolutely. There was no reason to put her outside with the child. They could have put her in another room or something. She's in shorts and barefooted, 12 degrees.
Yep.
Good to see you, Sean.
Hey, Sean. You can hear me?
Sean, there's been a lot of them that have been reporting it, man. It's like, but Phil G is the biggest one. Phil G and a few others. And that's just heartbreaking for me, you know, to see that going on. Because okay, so he was talking about Mike Penny. Yeah, I know Mike Penny was talking about it too, but so is Phil. So, you know, they wouldn't let her in the house, Phil. They wouldn't let her in the house. It was she answered the door, and they pulled her outside. Gateway Pundit kind of cut a little bit of the video on that because the kid was screaming at the time that the U.S. Marshal that was in the lead grabbed her and pulled her outside. And the rest of those officers were lining the wall. You know,
That's the kid was scared to death, probably. All these people coming with guns. What do they expect? And that she had a miscarriage. That's just horrible.
Yep. And it is. It's a shame because of the actions of the current administration. You know, it's just crazy. You know, it's like, you know, how does this how does this happen? You know, I got another one for you that some people might find interesting. The fact that military are making arrests around the country.
Yes, this is something I never, ever thought I would see in America. All the things that are happening is just like, what in the world has happened here? And I just cannot believe that it's just because of Biden. He doesn't even know what's right or left.
Pretty sure it's going to be the craziest year of our lives.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, pull this up, Bonnie. So the post says, my friend recorded this video near my home depicting what seems to be military arresting a citizen. Can anybody provide clarification on this matter?
Yeah.
First, they thought it was FBI, but no, that's military.
Keep coming, stop.
The other one is what?
Take your hands, put them on top of your head.
Oh my god.
Do not move, okay? You understand me? Okay.
That's FBI? They look like the army.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, god. Hey, where they take her now? Who the one on the black hoodie? Spanish?
And that's on the streets here in America. You know, right out in front of these people's house. You know.
Is that the same one, but a different view, or?
No. This was a guy being stopped out on the road, out on the sidewalk, and those were military. The guys who went into the guy's house, those were all U.S. Marshals and FBI. Okay, these guys were all military.
And he was innocent.
The guy that they went in his house, Yeah, the guy watched
Yeah.
Trump speak, wasn't feeling well, so he went back to his hotel room instead and never went to the Capitol building.
Yeah. And got her. I saw one guy that just landed at the airport. He didn't even go anywhere near all of that. And he was arrested just for being in D.C. that day. So what was the second one with the military?
The second one was a guy in I believe it was in Pennsylvania, is where Ivan is from, and the military arresting somebody out on the street.
But you don't know what they committed, what crime?
Yep. Yeah. No idea. No idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No idea. They didn't. They have not released any information whatsoever in regards to that. And the original post was taken down, and they put it back up a second time, rewording what they said, and the second time it stayed up.
It was a foreign asset. There might be something there.
Yeah.
And yet,
no, DC is not part of the United States. DC, 10 miles of the District of Columbia, 10 square miles, is a foreign country. So
yeah.
we are, and this is the thing is, there's nobody in government today, save 3 or 4 from each, from the 4 from the Republican, 4 from the Democrat, that are not dual citizens of Israel.
Wow.
So there's like only 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans that are not dual citizens. They're actually only citizens of the United States. Okay. And DC is a foreign country. They fly a totally different flag. Whoever becomes president flies their own flag.
Yeah.
So it's if you look at the pyramid of how the governing has gone over these last years, our religious leaders are in Rome. Okay, the Vatican is its own country. 10 square miles of London. There's the city of London, and then there is London. Okay, the city of London is a foreign country.
Do you happen to know if they've got, DC has, old stone markers, originals that mark out that 10 square miles. Do you think they have that in London too? Have you ever seen stone markers?
No, I think that is done by markers on the buildings surrounding the buildings that surround that area. London is pretty populous. London is more populous than the city of Rome. And the Vatican is surrounded by a wall. Who'd have thunk it?
I didn't know the Vatican was 10 square miles.
Yeah. Yep. And then you think
what
about
they call Vatican City, I guess.
It's their reach extends underground a lot farther than above ground. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes.
And the levels below the Vatican, can almost say that they're endless. There are 10 times the number of levels below ground that there is above ground.
Yeah, there's a few places on Earth I'd like to go rummage through. One would be the Vatican Archives. Another would be the Smithsonian's archives, and then the National Archives. I like to go snoop in their basements.
Yeah, without an escort.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Without an escort telling you can't look at that, you can't look at that, you can't look at that. No, we're gonna look at it, and we're gonna look at it without an escort. You know, but it's like all the giants. You know, it's we have photographs of all the giants. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they'll destroy the evidence of giants. Okay, but then they'll create evidence of dinosaurs. The only real dinosaur is a dragon. All the other ones are very creative.
Well, something was
chickens are kind of like modern velociraptors.
Yeah.
We've got dinosaur tracks in 3 different areas south and north of me.
Well, Hawk might be onto something there. I've heard a lot of theories regarding that type of thing. You know, we really don't know because they've jumbled our history so much. It's a lie agreed upon. I forget what famous quote that is from who, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
History is a lie agreed upon.
Is history. Is history is the at the end of that sentence. Is
But
a
they
lie
don't-
agreed upon is today's history.
It's supposed to be his story.
They don't look man-made to me. They're in the rock. Like
No, those would be, you know, what they're saying is those would be dragon prints. And what they also say is they've actually assembled them to look like dinosaurs to hide a truth. You know, there's a lot of people that think that.
Yeah, there were casts that were found in Egypt. They were found in Syria. They were found in Russia, and they were found in the basement of the Vatican, where basically ceramic bones. You know,
Yeah.
they have the cast or the molds. I think it's called casting mold or something like that. It's called. Okay. And that's where somebody drew it out, extravagant drawing of a skeletal of a particular type of dinosaur that they wanted to create. And then the painters came in and finished it, you know, because we don't have no pictures of dinosaurs. You know what I mean? But we do have pictures of intact skeletals of dragons.
Yeah, you know, and then there's the thing like, for how long did they depict dinosaurs as being like a lizard skin, hairless, featherless creature? And then out in China, they find a dinosaur where it clearly shows in the fossil that it had feathers all over it.
Yep.
You know?
I like what Sean says. He says you find a hip and then you craft a whole lizard around it.
So that must be why the Smithsonian gets so much money thrown at it in every bill.
Well, I know this much, Bonnie, because I fell in a rabbit hole a few years ago, and I started reading all this documentation from the 1800s. Because I had an interest in Indian graveyards. You know, I've seen a lot of them, and I saw mounds here in Michigan that, as a kid, it got me interested. Well, I started finding article after article after article describing mounds that were being disassembled in big cities all over this country. Like St. Louis, there was a big mound right there by the river. They came in, they plowed it out. People said they found giant skeletons, and then the Smithsonian came and it took this, and this is a repeated story in 1800s newspaper articles, where every time they dig up one of these mounds, find, you know, maybe only 7 foot tall skeletons, which is really, can you consider that a giant? Because I know 7 foot dude. Anyways, yeah. But the Smithsonian would show up and it would disappear. Every time they would take something into their possession, like an artifact or a skeleton, it vanished. I mean, I must have read 75 articles that were the same story over and over, all over this country. What the hell is that?
And what Sean just said, Did y'all see Florida just banned that there will be no what do you call it? Meat made in the lab created meat allowed in the state of Florida. Hopefully other states will follow. Texas.
Well, that's why the fire is going on in the Panhandle right now. They're trying to destroy the cattle industry. Okay,
That's what I heard, but that's not the. There's another huge one. I'm not going to say where it is. I'm on a fire over there, but I know there's a lot there, but there's still a whole lot more. But yeah, I had seen that. Amarillo and Hereford, Texas.
This is the thing about it is I don't remember that much in the desert to burn around Amarillo. I was all around over there in the canyons and stuff. There was some scrub.
That's what I was saying. I said, okay, well, the farthest west and up in that area that I've ever been is Granbury, but there's like no foliage. So what's burning?
Yeah, that's my. I've been, man. In 1970. We were coming out of Oklahoma Panhandle into the Texas Panhandle on the way to Amarillo, and a dust storm hit and we were in my mom's brand new car. All right, and by the time we got to downtown Amarillo to my grandpa's house, the car was completely sandblasted on one side and already rusting. All right, down to the bare metal on one side of that brand new car went because of that dust, and I can remember that entire stretch being just barren desert, man. When we stopped on the side of the road, it was rock and desert and lizards and all. I don't remember any woods, Bonnie.
I know. And that's what I said. So they said that's the second largest fire in history in Texas. And I said, then the first one must be the Bastrop fire, because that's the one that we were all involved in, because it was the Bastrop fire, and then there were two other fires north of me. And so with the wind blowing, the concern was that they were going to meet up together. But here we have the cedar trees. And I don't know if you've ever seen cedar burn, but they explode like a bomb.
Pine does that too. It's the sap in them.
I don't know what it is, but they just explode. And
it's what they call pitch or sap,
yes.
And that you can make fire starter with it. You can do a lot with pine pitch, and cedar is the same type of stuff.
Yeah, and Bastrop was full of pine. So I guess that's why both areas were burning so bad. And that's why it spreads so quick, because once it hits that cedar, it explodes, and the embers just keep spreading. It just keeps going. It's crazy. I'm sure California has seen something like that with their fires.
Right around 1990, probably about 6 miles down the road here, I walked out in the woods with one of my friends scouting for a hunting site, and we heard the storm that night. It had just had a big lightning storm, and I found a full-size, fully grown white pine tree that got hit by lightning so square. The lightning must have come down directly into the tree, because it was splintered like a wagon wheel in a perfect circle all the way around it in thousands of pieces. Sharp, like giant splinters and stakes all laid out like a wagon wheel all around the stump. That was all that was left.
Yeah.
Boom.
So we had been talking about the taxes and funding the government.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this guy pretty much he explains it so well. Take a listen to that.
Oh,
there are other symptoms that are even more difficult to diagnose, For instance, the financial situation of the United States. When I talk to my conservative friends right here, they always tell me that the problem is high taxes, but they're wrong. Of course, high taxes are extremely high here in the United States. I give you that. You're right in that. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is not the high taxes themselves, but the fact that they are not even really funding the government. Not even those high taxes, higher than a lot of places in the world, not even those taxes are really funding the government. So who's financing the government? Government is financed by treasury bonds, paper. And who buys the treasury bonds? Mostly the Fed. And how does the Fed buy them? By printing money. But what backing does the Fed have for that money being printed? The treasury bonds themselves. So basically, you finance the government by printing money out of thin air. Someone could ask, well, so if the government can print unlimited amounts of money out of thin air, why do they collect taxes? I mean, in theory, it would make sense, right? If they can print unlimited amounts of money, why would they need taxes for? The answer is simple, but it's very shocking. The real problem is that you pay high taxes only to uphold the illusion that you are funding the government, which you are not. It's shocking, but it's true. The government is funded by money printing, paper backed with paper, a bubble that will inevitably burst. The situation is even worse than it seems, because if most Americans and the rest of the world were to become aware of this farce, confidence in your currency would be lost, the dollar will fall, and the Western civilization with it. If the next president of the United States doesn't make the necessary policies and structural changes, sooner or later that bubble will burst. There's still time. You don't have to make the same mistakes we did in the 60s and the 70s. You can still jump before the water boils. Winning the election isn't enough to solve these problems. They will not simply go away as a consequence of an electoral result. It will take a total re-engineering of the government, top to bottom. It will entail making difficult decisions, like the ones we made in El Salvador since 2019, and they're already paying off. It will be hard. The system will push back. But you have the right to determine your own fate.
You know, looking at that, it kind of you know, really puts a lot of things into perspective in regards to that, and you begin to understand how these guys are manipulating manipulating the dollar. Yeah, where's he? What are you doing? Emailing it to me?
Wasn't he the president of El Salvador?
Yeah.
That was speaking? Okay.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
You know, because he's been going through that in his own country.
Yes. Trying to build it back.
Yeah. And yeah, I just got to find the clip, Auntie. Where's the clip at? Oh, okay.
There you go.
Copy. Give me a second. Paste this and find it. Paste and go. I should have left my little. Oh, you're gonna go back in time. Oh, I like it. Back in time. Yeah, gotta love this. It's like you got the three fucking Stooges right here. I'm sorry, the three freaking Stooges. I'm not kidding. The three Stooges. Larry, Curly, and Moe. Oh Lord, here we go.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Now, there's two key things to take away from this. This was in 1995. Okay. It was recorded on 1/27/1995. So January 27th, 1995. Okay. That when he said that at the end there was nobody sitting down. Every person in the entire Congress was standing and cheering.
Yeah.
Okay. When Trump said that, okay, and Trump pretty much used a majority of the exact same words that Bill Clinton did, the Democrats stayed seating and the Republicans were the only ones to stand and cheer.
But I have seen that with Obama saying same thing about the border, and who was the other one? Bush.
Yep. You know, and this is crazy too. You know, this is Bill was MAGA before the Democrats went off to deep, extreme deep.
Make America great again. Make America.
You see what Trump has done?
Yep.
He's taking everything from their playbook, okay, and using it against.
Yeah.
He says it and does it where these guys just say it and take your dollar. They say it and they take your dollar. It's and show this when he's called a Russian asset.
Look, Mr. Putin he's very smart.
Well, you know him better than most people.
Yeah, I do.
What was he like behind closed doors, away from, the sort of the public utterances?
Smart and remarkably, we had a really good, blunt relationship.
How blunt?
Brutally blunt.
Ever fisticuffs?
No, but I think the right strategy most of the time is, but it's frustrating to people in your line of work. You should be brutally honest with people in private. And then if you want them to help you, try to avoid embarrassing them in public.
Right.
Now, sometimes they do things which make it impossible for you to keep quiet. But by and large, I found all the people I dealt with appreciated it if I told them the truth. How I honestly felt and what our interests were and what our objectives were. And they also appreciated it when I didn't kick them around in public for as long as I couldn't kick them around. So I that's my experience. And
did Putin ever renege on a personal agreement he made to you?
He did not.
So behind closed doors, he could be trusted.
He kept his word in all the deals we made.
But hey, Russia's the bad guy, guys. Don't forget that. Oh my, don't you dare forget that Russia's the bad guy. Okay. But you see where this is going,
Every politician's going to say what you want to hear.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And we've heard it, politician after politician after politician after politician, until Trump came along and actually did what he said he was going to do. I like that comment too. Brutally blunt. Putin isn't somebody to mince words. He didn't mince words when he talked with Tucker.
No.
You know, it was, you know, you notice he looked right at Tucker and said, you know, you tried to get into the CIA and didn't, you know, and because you didn't, he handed him that folder, you know.
Yeah.
But Tucker's parents were CIA.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, Tucker's parents were CIA.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Night, Indy.
Good night, Indy.
Good night, Indy.
Yeah, that was an interesting interview, and Putin had total control of it, basically.
Yep.
Tucker kept on to get to now, and he was like, nope, you're going to hear the history.
Yep. So, all right. Well, listen, thanks for having me up. I'm gonna jump off. I got dinner. I cooked frog legs for dinner, so they're done baking. I made chicken.
Enjoy those frog legs.
Good night, Hawk. Hey, just before I jumped up here, I saw a video of 3 German shepherds that got a ball pit of their own in the house. They had a little slide built into it and a little bounce house with a net around it, you know. And they poured a couple hundred balls into it, and the 3 German shepherds took right to it. All right. And I mean, one of them figured to slide right out and was up and down that slide with his balls. And then it took about maybe 2 minutes before the other one ripped a giant hole in it, and it just all deflated all over him.
Well, you need to send that to me. All right.
I'll see if I can find it and send it to you. It made me laugh.
Put my number in the private chat there. So, all right. Okay. All right. I'm going to go. You guys be good. Thanks for having me. And I'm going to go get my
Thank you,
dinner.
Hawk. And
All
thank you for the little joke the other night.
Absolutely. Hey, we gotta laugh sometime, right? Yeah, we have
That's
to.
right.
God bless everybody. All right, bye.
God bless you. Take care. Woo. Hey, Nancy. It's good to see you, hon.
Hi, Nancy.
I don't see any comments from Frog ever since Hawk's eaten the frog legs. He jumped out.
I missed something. Now I got to scroll back and see what you're talking about.
Hawk said he was having frog legs for dinner in Mississippi. Well, you enjoy those frog legs. I haven't seen. Oh, there he is. He's here.
You know, I did that when I was younger. I don't think I could do it now. I'd have to make little wheelchairs or something. I'd feel really bad about it.
I have never tried frog legs. That's something
Well,
I've never.
I mean, they're okay, Bonnie, but you got to kill a lot of frogs to get a meal, you know?
Well, that's what I was thinking. It's like a toothpick with a little.
Well, you get a big bullfrog, and it's not a toothpick, but it still takes a lot of them to fill you.
Hey, Eric, good to see you. Yep.
What's up, Eric?
I can imagine it would take a lot. I have tried escargot, and believe it or not, it was good. I worked in a restaurant where we had to try the food that we were serving so we could give our opinion, but our opinion better be good.
Well, that's not an opinion at all, is it?
Right. That's what I said. Well, wait a minute. We had the stuffed mushrooms, and I don't really care for mushrooms, but
That sounds more like assimilation to me.
tried it just to. Yes, you can. Let me get to my phone. Are you feeling naked? Where am I? I can't find me.
You got to go to the YouTube chat, not
That's what.
StreamYard.
Yeah, and I can't find me in YouTube, so I got to go to Mimi, and there it is. Okay. I can't find me in YouTube. Whoops. So I got. Sorry about that.
I can't believe I stayed up this late. I got to get up at like 6, 7 o'clock.
I know, and I'm fixing to close down. I think my
Well, it ain't
granddaughter's.
your fault. I could just wasn't sleeping. I wasn't ready. So I don't know what that's about. But
Okay, Eric, you're good.
yeah, I guess Eric's all right.
I'm glad you came up, Carl. It's been a while.
It hasn't been that long. I was up on your panel here, what, a month ago?
That's a while. Gee. You're
Well,
welcome.
I
And
really
Jen,
haven't
yes.
been doing a whole lot of this bonding because it's all work and no play.
Oh, I
Well,
know.
it's not really true either because I play while I work, but yeah, but it's appreciated. I like coming up.
Yeah.
I'm kind of missing the nocturnal activities, because
Yeah.
you can't. I don't do naps. All right, number one, because then I would be up all night. But now everybody I know hangs out on the late hours, and
Yes.
I'm missing a lot. I've been watching stuff late in the daytime, catching up on some stuff, and I've watched some of your shows after the fact. But by the time 9 o'clock comes around here, now I'm pretty tired sometimes.
Not Chrissy Cat. Thank you. Yeah. I try to stay off of YouTube after I end to try to go to sleep, but it doesn't work. And so I try to find something. But the only thing that kind of sucks is missing rescue in the mornings because he goes on so dadgum early. And I've even tried to stay awake until he went on. There was one thing that I did.
That's my alarm clock. I set the notice every day but Sunday he goes live. I set it 6 o'clock every morning. I get that notice. That's what wakes me up.
Well, none of my notifications make that much noise, but when we were at JM's playing that game today, I had notifications going off like crazy, and then it would cover my screen. And so then I was like, and after doing it for a while, I couldn't see the letters. And so I got it on my computer, and I was like, ooh, I can see now on the computer. And then I would just type it on my phone because I can do it a lot faster on the phone. But that was a pretty fun game. I got on the board even. I was shocked. But Indy and Gigi and there was a couple of them, I can't remember their names. I'd never heard of them. They were really good. They were up there.
Yeah, seeing stuff like that. I don't know about that channel, but I have not been around like I used to be.
Well, he usually does it like in the afternoons. He's JM Unleashed, and
Oh, I know who JM is.
yeah, he's been on
I
Indies.
didn't know he was doing a game thing though.
I didn't either, and they were talking about it not very long ago, and I was like, "What's this game we're talking about?" And so today, for whatever reason, I got a notification, and it said game day or something, and so I went to it, and I was like, woohoo, I made it for the game. And so I sat there watching a minute to see what the deal was, and then I just started typing words. It's unscrambling. The letters are all mixed up, and some of the letters are fake letters, and then you get a question mark, but it's not a wild letter, it's a specific letter, and you have to figure out what letter it is. It's kind of crazy, but it is fun.
Well, I'll check it out if I can catch one. Did he do it at night or in the day?
It seems like it was about, let's see, my granddaughter was picked up at, I think it was like 2 Central, so it'd be 3 your time. Somewhere around there.
I'm still
Look on
working.
his channel and see when it is.
Usually still working that time.
Okay. That's what I figured. You're probably.
It's probably why I haven't been seeing it, but
Yes.
then even when I think I'm out of work, then later on the boss will show up and we'll go back to work. So, I never really know.
Yeah. And that's YouTube keeps us from getting notifications a lot of times too.
It's always done jinky stuff. Lately, there'll be people talking and saying hello to somebody, and I won't see them in the chat at all. I mean, like, they're not gonna, they show
Yes.
everybody they're there but me. And other things is I'll go into a chat and make a comment, and nobody sees my first comment. So I just duplicate the same comment and make it again, and then everybody sees me. So a lot of times, especially if I'm not modded somewhere, they're hiding my comments from people.
Yeah. And I went back and was looking at the one night before last and looking through the chat, and I couldn't see William. I could see everybody talking to William, but I never saw any of his comments. And I was like, this is really weird.
Remember people used to jump into the chats and say, hey, who blocked me? Maybe there was something to that.
Yes. Maybe. But I see him in StreamYard now. Wait, let me look at my phone. No, I see him on YouTube also.
Well, I'm not saying it's always happening. I'm just saying that I see it happen once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know if after it's closed, if that's when they remove a person, or I don't know. But
I don't know.
YouTube, leave us alone.
I'm still convinced they have us all in a box. It's like tonight. Did you see? There may have been some new face that showed up once in a while.
Yes.
But we usually see the same people over and over. You don't see people just wander in all the time. Because I used to do YouTube before all this crap happened, and it wasn't like this. I would expect you to have 100 people, at least. But I think they have us all in a box. They got us all corralled up with, and the way that we find each other is being recommended to each other, if you think about it.
Yes. And y'all don't forget Indy tomorrow night. Wait, no. Today's Wednesday. Never mind. Scratch that. Friday night. Is today Wednesday?
Yep.
Okay.
for 5 more minutes here.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to close this one down.
Good night, chat. Good night, Bonnie.
Good night, Carl. You have sweet dreams. Don't work too hard. I know you've been very busy.
I try to use my brains over the brawn. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So,
yeah. A lot of us are not. All right. All of y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for all your input. God bless you. Love you. Good night.
See y'all somewhere soon.